Hey, welcome back to Matt again. My name is Rampage and this is Gaming News. This article is Ubisoft CEO. A few things were not perfect in Assassin's Creed Unity. During the QA portion of its earnings call on February 13th, the CEO of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot, touched on Assassin's Creed Unity's disastrous launch by acknowledging it wasn't perfect. That game is still not fixed! So no, it wasn't perfect. It's still not perfect. It still runs like garbage on my system, which is an i5-2500K, not overclocked anymore, with fucking 16 gigs of RAM at GTX 970. Why can't I run that game above medium settings at above 60 frames per second? Because it's unoptimized as shit! That's why. No Assassin's Creed game has ever run correctly. Ever. I don't care about what your system spec is. If you go back and play Assassin's Creed 1, I can guarantee it will still fucking stutter like garbage. Guarantee it. Assassin's Creed 2, same thing. Assassin's Creed Revelations, or Revelations, whatever the fuck, same thing. Assassin's Creed 3, same thing. Assassin's Creed 4, same thing. The only way that I could play that game with actual VSync was if I used an external program, Direct 3D Overrider. You know, I play all my games with VSync if I can. Now, for Assassin's Creed Unity, couldn't do it at all. If I turned VSync on, that game would stutter like a motherfucker. That game would drop to 20 frames per second. When I was recording, 5 frames per second. Completely unplayable. So, let's read what this CEO of Ubisoft has to say. Now, granted this is before patch 1.5, but I'll get into that after I talk about this. He states, each time there's a new transition to consoles, we try to create engines that take full advantage of the capacity of these consoles, or of those consoles. In the case of Unity, we had to redo 100% of the engine. Yeah, okay. So when you do that, it's painful for all the group, and everything has to be recalibrated. With this engine, a few things were not perfect when the game was launched, but the engine has been created, and it's going to help the brands to shine in the future. No, it's not. It wasn't 100% remade because it's the same fucking engine. Let's go back and see. Assassin's Creed 4. Assassin's Creed Unity. Okay. The engine for Assassin's Creed 4 was Anvil Next. The engine for Assassin's Creed Unity was Anvil Next. Is that different? No. Is the version probably different? Probably. Does it state what the version is? No. And I can guarantee you they did not recreate the entire fucking engine just for Unity. If you go back and watch the developer diaries, they said that they created a way to have a lot of AI. They created a new parkour system that allowed you to traverse down buildings. That's all you did to that fucking engine. You didn't recreate the fucking thing. And if you did, you did a horrible, horrible job. Because every time they change or rename the engine that they use, it fucks the game up so bad. Right? The engine that I'm talking about was Anvil. The Anvil engine, I assume it would be the same thing as Anvil Next, but the only game that has ever not sucked, as far as I'm aware, on PC, is Liberation. That game ran fucking great and looked beautiful. What happened with Black Flag? What happened with Unity? Where the fuck did you go wrong? It's like, oh, we got this team to actually care about Liberation on PC. You know, porting it from fucking, what was it called? PS Vita to PC. All good and great. Because that game was also on consoles as well. But it ran fantastic on PC. Why? What the fuck is going on with Black Flag as well as Unity. Like, Unity, for so long, I couldn't even run that game at medium. It's at patch 1.5 as far as I'm aware, unless they've repatched or patched the game again. But it still runs like garbage. Still. On my system. I didn't pay $500 for a fucking GPU with 4 gigs of RAM, or VRAM, for you to fuck up. Now that game doesn't even come close to using 4 gigs of VRAM. It shouldn't come close to using 3 gigs of VRAM. It looks exactly the same. I don't care what any of you say. It looks exactly the same, if not worse, than Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. You turn off SSAO, HBAO+, then tell me the quality. Because Shadows does play a huge part in that game. So, with that out the way, your game was fucking terrible. It still is terrible. It still has ledge detection issues, still has AI problems. The amount of AI causing 100% CPU usage on an i5-2500K. Horrible stuttering. Yet it wasn't perfect at launch. It's still not perfect now, mate. I don't care what you claim in your patch notes. Optimizations to make the game run better. No, the last 3 patches haven't done fuck all for the performance. I'm still running on mostly medium and one thing on high with everything else off. Anti-aliasing off. If I turn everything down to low, it barely improves the game in terms of FPS. I was testing it with a GTX 770. If I had that card without my 970, I wouldn't even be able to fucking play that game because it maxed my GPU out of VRAM. 2 gigs constantly, which bottlenecked my CPU performance for some reason at like 70 to 80%. But then when I put in my GTX 970 and ran the game, my GPU would be maxed or nearly maxed out at about 80 to 90%. Then the CPU would be maxed out at 100. What the fuck is going on? You know, you said you made these optimizations. You said you at least fixed performance or at least added performance improvements when you haven't done anything, really. Which is really laughable because I keep saying this and I will point it out until Ubisoft fixes their shit. But they also lied in the patch notes for Ghost Recon Future Soldier. There was like 3 or 4 patches where they stated, oh, we fixed DirectX 11 performance, we fixed texture resolution for campaign. They did nothing. They didn't even fix that game. They said they did, but they didn't. The performance is still garbage. Still not fixed. Never was. So, for them to lie like that in multiple games proves that they do not give a shit about the end user. Because if they did, we still wouldn't be waiting for an optimization patch. It would have come out week 2. Watch Dogs still runs like garbage. I get you want to do so much things, but don't use horrible engines because they just don't work. Recreate the engine, rework it, add optimizations or some bullshit. Stop adding this ridiculous lighting, ridiculous shadows for no fucking reason whatsoever. Because shadows and lighting does cause horrible frame rates. And it does take a lot of computational power to actually run that stuff at high settings. So, yeah. Ubisoft, you can say what you want, but none of your games are really perfect. None of them run really well. Apart from Driver San Francisco. But no Ubisoft game, no Assassin's Creed game. Far Cry 4, not really. Like, all of their recent games have just sucked in performance. Like, Far Cry 2 ran fucking dream. Like a dream. I'll get my English right in a moment. But, until you get your shit together, mate, I really don't give a fuck for you. Like, I can't trust you as a developer. I can't trust that you'll actually fix your games. I can't trust that you won't lie to your consumers blatantly in the patch notes. Now, people in the comments of those patch notes will go, oh, thank you, Ubisoft, for fixing the game, without actually testing it themselves. Which is really amusing. Because people will see those patch notes and go, oh, thank you for fixing it, when they haven't even tested it yet. If you haven't tested it, go test Assassin's Creed Unity patch 1.5 and let me know your performance, because mine is fucking garbage. But anyway, guys, my name is Rampage. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.